The White Crow, a glimpse into shadows. The town is lively, lit up by pink and green neon lights. Holographic ads promote gold bars and high-tech gadgets. Large machines stand in the background, releasing smoke into the sky. The air is filled with engine noises and conversations, mixing modern chaos with a strong sense of endurance. A body lies slumped in a narrow, dirty alley, surrounded by old electronic parts and glowing puddles from recent rain. Above, a flickering hologram shows a crow emblem on the brick wall, casting strange shadows that seem to move. Inspector Manat steps out of a modern police cruiser that hovers above the ground. His boots make noise on the dusty pavement. The bright neon lights from the street catch his mirrored visor, making curious bystanders quickly look away. He moves carefully and purposefully, examining the town as if it were a suspect. Manat examines the victim's belongings at the crime scene. He finds a fine layer of gold dust on their hands and clothing, which seems too unusual to be random. In the wallet, he discovers a crumpled receipt from Somsak's jewelry store, time-stamped just hours before the attack. The details are concerning. The victim had been handling gold recently, and their last stop was Somsak's store. With this lead, Manat heads to the shiny storefront, where bright purple lights and floating holograms contrast sharply with the violence now surrounding it. Mr. Somsak takes Manat into a large underground chamber lit by blue lights. The room holds stacks of gold bars, piles of shiny gemstones, and ancient artifacts covered in dust. The air is cold and feels heavy with the weight of great wealth. In the center of the chamber stands Kraith. He has a commanding presence and remains silent. His intense gaze locks onto Manat, as if he can see into his very soul. For a moment, everything around them seems less important, and the tension in the air is thick. It is in this place, surrounded by treasure, that their paths cross for the first time, an encounter that feels like the start of something much more dangerous. The White Crow sits on the edge of a modern tower, watching the town below. His white robes flutter in the wind, and the soft light from his crow emblem creates a shadow over the rooftops. The atmosphere is tense, as if he is waiting for something, or someone. Manat steps onto the rain-soaked street, where neon lights reflect off the pavement. The White Crow jumps from the shadows and fires a gun. Manat dodges just in time, barely escaping the attack. He breathes heavily as the winged figure disappears into the night. To find the truth, Manat asks his girlfriend Yanya, a resourceful reporter, for help. She wears a shiny high-tech jumpsuit that looks like liquid metal as she walks into Somsak's store with confidence. Her bright smile and smooth movements create a friendly atmosphere, hiding her sharp and calculating eyes. In a cheerful conversation with Somsak, she switches easily between giving compliments and asking questions, creating a subtle trap. While she appears charming, every word she uses is carefully chosen and every look is meaningful as she tries to uncover the secrets hidden in the store. As Janya leaves Somsak's store, she blends into the busy streets. Manat signals the police waiting nearby. Before they can act, a shadow appears. In a dark alley, the White Crow attacks with a glowing blade. Manat blocks the strike with his own weapon, and sparks fly when they collide. Rain pours down, mixing with the mud on the ground, while neon signs flicker above. The fight is intense and chaotic. Manat desperately tries to defend himself against the precise strikes of his winged opponent. The White Crow jumps smoothly from rooftop to rooftop, his movements fluid and almost superhuman. Behind him, drones buzz and flash, shining bright beams of light as officers hurry to follow him through the maze of the neon-lit city. A trail of glowing blood moves up the grand marble staircase of Somsak's mansion, leaving an eerie light behind with each drop. The fancy entrance has holographic gold patterns that ripple like liquid as light dances on the walls, creating an unsettling effect. The silence is broken only by the quiet echo of footsteps as the injured but defiant White Crow ascends into the depths of the mansion. His presence felt like a shadow. The grandeur of the space seems almost alive, a gilded cage hiding more secrets than it shows. Kraith is bloodied and exhausted, leaning heavily against a golden pillar in the treasure chamber. He finally speaks in a cold and steady voice, breaking the silence. His words cut through the tension like a knife. In a memory, Mr. Somsak remembers the first time he met Kraith. The boy was pale and thin, with glowing white hair. He sat huddled in a weak makeshift shelter while a sandstorm raged outside. His thin hands held a shiny gold nugget tightly, as if it were his lifeline. His wide, haunting eyes showed both desperation and strong determination. Even during the storm, the boy had an unshakable quality and a raw intensity that hinted at the man he would become. This moment, marked by gold and grit, begins Kraith's obsession and his important connection to Somsak. The metallic clink of the mask hitting the floor reverberates through the chamber, unveiling Kraith's face, bloodied and pale, his glowing white hair faintly shimmering under the sterile light. His piercing eyes blaze with fury and pain, each scar a testament to his past. His voice, hoarse and low, slices through the silence. The treasure was always mine. The words linger in the air, heavy with chilling certainty. In this moment, Kraith is no longer the elusive white crow, but the boy shaped by gold and vengeance, standing resolutely among the riches he claims as his own. The headquarters is abuzz with activity, its walls adorned with holographic screens that display crime data and live feeds. Robotic officers are poised at attention, their metallic faces devoid of emotion, while a hologram of the White Crow's glowing emblem looms ominously over a 3D map of the town. In a dim diner, Manat and Janya sit at a corner table filled with glowing holograms of evidence. Janya gestures with passion and determination, while Manat listens with concern on his face. The light sound of rain outside adds to his unease. Somsak's mansion shows his wealth and luxury. It has floating chandeliers that change colours and robotic servants that move silently across the shiny floors. Inside, a private museum displays treasures from his empire. Each piece glows softly under protective holographic cases. The treasure chamber is in chaos as Manat fights the White Crow. Gold bars are scattered across the floor, and cold, flickering lights create long shadows that move with the fight. The White Crow lies injured among tall stacks of gold bars. He stares at the shiny metal with cold, haunted eyes. Memories flood back to him. Although bloodied, the White Crow focuses on the gleaming gold, his eyes showing deep pain. In this moment, vivid memories start to come back. A boy sits in a crumbling hut holding a gold nugget. This nugget was once a symbol of hope, but it has brought betrayal and violence. Gold promised him salvation, but instead led to suffering. Now he desires not just wealth, but revenge. Each kill brings him closer to regaining control that he lost long ago. Outside Somsak's mansion, dawn brings a sky of pale pink and gold. Manat and Janya stand quietly, watching the town's neon lights disappear as the treasure chamber closes behind them. The White Crow's mask lies on the floor of the treasure chamber, discarded and glowing faintly in the dim light. A single drop of blood slides down its edge, catches the cold blue light, and then falls into silence.